Please.
Hey, what's up guys? Anderson here, and this is a 2v2 replay commentary. It's also a subscriber submitted commentary from my friend Nighthawk and his clanmate Lestat. Their opponents are Desikosuke and Loki, and the map is Slumbering Settlement. And this was a pretty interesting fight because their opponents pretty much boxed up right at the start of the match. And you have to see this guy's formation. I mean, it's so righteous. You could tell right at the beginning what exactly he intends to do. And really, it's not a good tactic on 2v2s to box up and play defensively. So, I mean, you'll see as soon as the match starts. It's just absolutely hilarious how this guy is set up. Now, Nighthawk's clanmate, his teammate also, he brought a pretty interesting build, which I see a lot in 2v2s. It's pretty much all melee and cav, no ranged units, but check out this dude's formation. He's got 3 very high veteran Yari Ashigaru. They all have a 9 melee attack and 9 defense. I believe that's boosted to 12 melee attack when his generals in stand and fight. He has 4 matchlocks directly behind them. He's got some heavy gunners with 2 matchlock Ashigaru, moderately veteran, and then I believe a matchlock warrior monk somewhere else. Yeah, one of these units. So 2 matchlock Ashigaru, heavy gunner, matchlock warrior monk. Now what's weird about this is he put the matchlock warrior monks in front of the Ashigaru, and I would have probably put them in back since Ashigaru do considerably more friendly fire damage. But as well, he has some bow warrior monks and then 3 lone swords back here. I believe that's his whole army. He might have some, yeah, he does have some cav over here, as I was. But here's Nighthawk's formation. He's got, a basic balanced build. He's got 2 bow warrior monks with some matchlock Ashigaru. He also has some spears and a mix of katana samurai and lone swords. As well, he has a pretty decent cav component. He's got 5 units of cav back here. He's got some light cav with some gray guard, some more katana cav, gray guard, and then a monk cav. But these monk cav, they don't appear to have too many upgrades. And one thing I like about the monk cav is you can upgrade their reverse cav bonus to 17, which makes them considerably better. And if you look at his teammates' army, this is a massive cav force. He's got some light cav up here scouting, and he ran into some bandits, which, yeah, it's a pretty good little attack right there. But coming to back them up, he's got some Yari cav with some spear support, some Yari Ashigaru spears. But he has a Yari cav, fire cav, he's got his bodyguard over here, and doesn't appear to be a melee general. He's just supporting his cav over here with a katana cav and some mounted gunners, and that's actually a really good unit. I really like the mounted gunners, but you cannot get them engaged in melee, which it looks like he's about to right here. So hopefully he realizes that, pulls these guys back pretty quick. But other than that, if you can protect your mounted gunners, they are really effective at tearing down your opponent's cav that are tied up, and as well taking down Yari Ashigarus that are supporting his cav. So he does a pretty smart move over here. Even though he's got a majority of his cav over here engaged with his cav, he's going to take this unit back and do this rear flanking charge on these Yari Ashigaru. They're deadly, but if you get a rear charge on these guys, they rout pretty quick. So you can see as soon as he makes contact and all those bodies go flying, this unit's already ready to rout. So the early cav action, sorry, I'm laughing because I just saw you jump down and stand and fight right in the middle of this cav engagement. That's pretty funny. I don't really see people doing that too often. But yeah, the quick cav action paid off, and he still has pretty much all of his cav force over here. And if you look at his melee component, he's got a pretty decent melee component as well. He's got some Naginata warrior monks with some lone swords. And over here he's got some more, lone swords with some Yari Ashigaru and katana sams with more Naginata warrior monks. So it's a pretty nice sized melee force with a complement of pretty considerable cav. And Nighthawk is pushed up here to try and skirmish, but right away his opponents are going to box up in this forest. Now there was some cav action over here as well, but I mean this guy's just so severely outnumbered. His katana cav and whatnot just really don't have a chance. So nothing too drastic over there. I'm gonna actually well, first, before I do a time lapse, because it takes a while, what they're going to do is they're just going to completely surround and envelop their opponent, and that's pretty much the best strategy for attacking these box formations. You know, when you split up your forces, they can't concentrate their matchlocks in one direction, and seeing as he only has 3 spear units in his army corps, you know, it's a pretty constrained formation as well. So they're going to take their time, completely surround them. He's going to maneuver some of his infantry through this forest, which provides pretty sufficient cover, and I believe they're going to bring their cav units back here to support in the rear. Meanwhile, trying to skirmish what he can with his bow warrior monks, since he's the only one that brought a ranged component with those matchlock Ashigaras as well. So I'm going to go ahead and time lapse this. I'll start here actually, so you can see how this envelopment proceeds along. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, so the skirmishing phase is over, and you can see that Nighthawk and Lestat have pretty much managed to completely surround their opponent. And honestly, camping in this forest was probably one of the single worst ideas that their opponents could have came up with. Because if you see, I mean, he has tree cover all around here, and you know, they are not really going to effectively be able to use their ranged units when there's so little ground for these guys to cover before they're making contact with their opponent's front lines. And what I probably would have done here was, I don't know, if I was playing with Vizero or something, I probably would have coordinated wedge formation cav strikes first. I mean, when you look at this massive cav army, I think all these units in a wedge formation could have easily just shredded right through all these spears and got tangled up in their center lines. That's how I would have approached it, but you can see over here Nighthawk as well has pretty much put all of his units in a loose formation to prepare them to charge up here into the trees and through matchlock fire. Both of their opponent's generals are ready. This one's dismounted and stand and fight. And the cool thing about 2v2s is your general's radius also covers your allies' troops. But I'm going to go ahead and start this so you can see how the battle develops. And they're actually going to go for troop melee first rather than take cav in and do a cav engagement. I don't know, I think the cav engagement would have distracted him and probably forced him to turn around some of his matchlocks. And he does have heavy gunners over here. Pretty flat terrain, they've got pretty clear shots, but you also got to take into consideration they're going to do a fair amount of friendly fire damage as well. So here starts the melee engagement. He rushes Naginata warrior monks up here first to do a war cry. And he has not engaged all of his cav yet. Some of them are in here though.
My lord, treacherously meant to ambush us.
And he actually did not put his units in a loose formation at first either. He did take a considerable amount of casualties though on these katana samurai. And once he gets his general up here, he's just going to jump down into stand and fight. And now they're going to start bringing this cav in. Nighthawk was a little bit late bringing his cav into the fight, so it doesn't really deliver the coup de grace, but pretty close to it. Now you can see both of them have their generals in stand and fight, and they have a pretty good convergence here, which pretty much cuts right through all of their enemy's troops. So their infantry has a pretty decent range of movement to advance to. Let's get back here, just as bow warrior monks taking stuff down from a distance. And you can see now that his heavy gunners are engaged, they are not able to continue firing. So a pretty good job, you know, eliminating these heavy gunners. And he did put his bow warrior monks on this guy's Yari Ashigaru to burn them down faster so his swords could get through. So all in all, pretty well coordinated attack. One of their opponents did manage to slip some Naginata samurai through, but they aren't a really big threat. Even if they attack the general is a great unit as a melee infantry versus spear unit, especially in stand and fight with boosted stats. And now he's going to go ahead and rush these cav in to, you know, deliver the final coup de grace and break their morale. So all in all, pretty good strategy. You know, when your opponents, you know, even on 1v1s, want to camp like this, you really just got to focus on splitting up your forces and surrounding them and not allowing them to converge all their matchlock fire in one general direction. But that is the fight. It was a good match. Two very good opponents versus two not so great opponents that did not really plan out their strategy too well. probably had poor communication as well. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be doing some more personal battle uploads within the next day or so. Take it easy, and I'll see you next time.